Good morning and welcome to WyoToday Sports Live. It's Kevin Shields here on 101.7 KDNO, and I'm by my lonesome today. So, Cody on vacation. Of course, Baylor has now moved to Cheyenne, so we wish him well. And with the promotion with his full-time job, and we look forward to hearing great things from him and the Beers family as well on this move. Okay, so we're gonna open up. It's school seasons are over. We do not have any current quote unquote high school sponsored sports going on right now. Of course, football, I'm sure, getting into off season, summer workouts and things of that nature. Probably several sports getting into that, looking at camps, things of that nature. But right now, the big thing we've got going on team sports wise is, of course, Legion baseball here in Riverton. Looking at the senior leagues, Riverton currently sits in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth place at 6 and 8. Now, keep in mind, at the same point in time, it's kind of a weird situation now with Double A and Single A playing against each other, but they'll separate out at the end for the tournament if I know that correctly. Conference record wise, not a lot of conference games have been played yet. Right now, Gillette, it looks like, leads the pack in the Senior Legion North Conference. But you've got all sorts of records all over the boards. But Gillette, Sheridan, Powell, then Jackson, the Casper Drillers, Gillette, Cody, Sheridan. And again, not a lot of conference games, so it's kind of just based over overall record. To the south, which features far less teams, it seems, is you've got the Cheyenne Sixers and the Cheyenne Hawks up at the top, then Casper, then the Cheyenne Eagles. Kind of what you would expect there. And right now, for the Raiders, this week has been kind of a mixed bag. And the reason I say mixed bag, I mean, they've gone, they won, lost 2 on Monday, and they won yesterday. I'm double checking to see if they played 2. No, they just played 1, it looks like, yesterday. So yesterday they won. We're going to talk a little bit about the Monday game just because it's one of those where you just danged if you do, danged if you don't kind of things. Riverton Raiders beat Rocky Mountain 16U 16-1. Raiders went off for 10 runs in the 4th. Trujillo and Heikela both homered. Heikela, as aforementioned, and Martin led with 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Trujillo gets the win. He allowed 2 hits over 4 innings, and of course, only the 1 run. On Monday against Gillette, very good Gillette team, as you heard me, top of the table, so to speak, or top of the standings in the northern region. Gillette wins the game 1 5-0, and even though it was 5 runs, it was a bit of a pitcher's duel. Clifford, the pitcher for Gillette, records 11 strikeouts. He did walk 3. Craig for them had 3 hits, scored twice. Braden Baker for Riverton had 10 Ks on the bump, and it's rare you get into double-figure strikeouts and you wind up taking the L, but he did, and part of the reason for that is Riverton had 5 errors on the day in that game, so that'll kill you anytime. You need to be a little bit better there as far as making unforced mistakes. In the second game, it was 13-4. Riverton did hold a lead until the Gillette Rough Riders went off for 9 runs in the 5th. And the problem there was more so, and pitching was obviously an issue, allowing that many runs, but Riverton also walked 11 players on Gillette in that game, gave up 5 stolen bases, and added 3 more errors. So That's kind of tough when you're allowing that kind of errors. We're going to look at the season though for the Riverton Raiders, and currently, of course, we already said what they've done here in June. In July, or in May, not July. July's looking into the future. They did finish off strong on back-to-back wins. A classic with the Lander Legends A18U. They defeated them at Lander 11-10, and we'll get into Lander baseball next week. Wheatland Post 10. They defeated 7-1. They lost to Jackson 3-1. They beat Lovell 6-1, and they beat Lander Legends. They played before that 19-6. Lost to Green River, lost to Utah Yaks, lost to Post 24 Stallions. So when you look at the team, Colton Heikela is currently leading in batting average. He's batting a impressive 463, 25 hits, 16 of those singles, 7 doubles, 8 ribbies. Leading the team in home runs currently looks to be, according to their stats they keep, Braden Baker with 2, Heikela, Trujillo, and Braden Martin each have 1. Leading the team in doubles is going to be Bo Anderson with 8, Heichel with 7, Yates with 4, Basin Anderson with 4, Trio and Martin all with 3, and Braden Baker with 2, Spradlin with 1. Leading the team in triples, well, they only have 2. Bo Anderson and Colton Heichel both with those. Leading the team in RBIs, no shock there. Bo Anderson and Carson Trujillo. Braden Baker right behind them with 14. The leaders have 16. Yates with 13. And Braden Martin with 12. Heichel with 8. Jevney with 7. Spradlin with 6. Base Anderson with 4. Olson, excuse me. Just looking at his first initial with 2. Best plate discipline, quite honest, Braden Baker has walked 6 times, or 16 times. He leads the team in that. Bo Anderson 14 times. They have had a bit of an issue this year with striking out 145 as a team. So they'd like to get that down, at least put balls into play. As far as pitching goes, trying to get ERA pulled up here. Braden Baker leads the team with a 2.96. He has 21 Ks. It looks, or 51 Ks, excuse me. Just went off that. He has 51 strikeouts, so that's quite impressive. Bo Anderson with 37, an ERA of 3.554. Trujillo with 17 Ks and an ERA of 5. The big issue, though, so far, it looks like in some of these losses have been the errors. Just need to calm down, let the game slow down, as y'all have heard me say in soccer. And get things going there. So still a lot of season left to play, but it's one of those, just like every other season we have. It feels like it starts and it feels like it ends. We're going to start previewing seasons next week, in the coming weeks, as we will look to, of course, Riverton football looking to come off an impressive trip to the semifinals and get further. Lander Valley looking to improve as well after they return to the playoffs. Thermopolis, a little bit of a rebuilding. They're looking to reload. Thermopolis will be looking to advance further and improve on a state playoff run. And then the same with Shoshone. Of course, Wyoming Indian looking to get things on track. We all have some theories on what they could do, but it's up to the coaching staff, obviously, to do what they think is best. Wind River looking to try and bounce back. Past 2 seasons have been kind of rough in football, and they will look to bounce back when they made it all the way to the state finals. But we'll look at those in coming weeks. We've got a lot going on here in Riverton and on WyoToday. This week, actually one of the few without any live remotes, but we do have Cornhole coming up. Of course, next Saturday we'll be at Sutherland's, and we'll be at Brewfest, and we're going to be everywhere. You're going to see a lot of Nash, a lot of Kevin Tate, a lot of myself, a lot of Kelly Davis, obviously, out there doing the Cornhole tournaments. You can check out the full schedule for Cornhole in the Ranger or Lander Journal. Either one of them will have that. Um, and figure out exactly where we're going to be and when we're going to be there. Of course, we'll next weekend, the 12th and 13th, especially the 13th, we'll be at Lander Brewfest. We'll be at Sutherland's first, then Lander Brewfest. So that will be exciting. And come on out and enjoy cornhole. We do have a cornhole tournament coming up, not with us, but I mean, like the professionals at Wind River Casino coming up here shortly. So that is sports related, very popular sport on ESPN and whatnot. So we're going to take a look. We'll kind of preview that when it gets closer, when the pros come to town. Maybe, hopefully, we can have one on the air, but we don't know yet. But of course, then we'll have Wyoming football. Wyoming football will get ready to start probably sometime in late July. Will be freshmen reporting, and Wyoming looking to be a much improved team this year. Of course, we are your home for Wyoming football on 99.1 KWYW. So lots of things coming up, but kind of it's why baseball shines this time of year. It's a, I don't want to say a slower sport, but it's the easiest sport to follow, to jump in the middle of. You really haven't missed a whole lot. It's a slower paced game, but nothing builds the drama quite like baseball. Of course, right now, as far as in MLB, we are your home of the Colorado Rockies. So let's take a look there as well at the standings in MLB. Colorado, of course, has been a bit of a bottom dweller in the NL West for quite some time. And they are 16 games back. They're one behind San Francisco, but 16 behind the division leading Los Angeles Dodgers, and that's no shock to anybody because I think their payroll is $8.2 billion in Los Angeles. But Colorado, a bit better, at least to watch than they have been in previous years. They are currently trying to pull this up. They're currently facing the Brewers starting tonight. They just took 2 of 3 from the I gotta get this right. The Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or what? We're going old school. I'm old. Some of you are too. The California Angels. They lost the last one, but did take 2 out of 3. They took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Of course, previous to that, they were on a 5-game losing streak, losing to the Dodgers all 3 of the series, and losing the last 2 in a 4-game, losing 3 out of 4, including the last 2 of a 4-game series with the Diamondbacks. Quite honestly, before they faced the Giants, they really hadn't won a series in quite some time. Kind of going back here, they lost one to Cincinnati. Last one they'd won before that, I do believe, looks like it was the Mets. Or no, excuse me, that's going in opposite order. It still might be the Mets though. So looks like that, but they do have Milwaukee coming up here next 3 days. Of course, those will be on 99.1 KWYW. It will be at 6:40 tonight, 7:10 tomorrow night, and 1:10 on Sunday. And then they'll welcome the Chicago Cubs to town. They're Colorado Rockies on a 6-game home stretch here before they'll travel out to face the A's. As far as their coming up opponents, as far as Milwaukee and Chicago, of course, they're in the NL Central. Milwaukee leading the Central with 37-23 record. Not overly strong on the road, but still a winning record. 16-10 on the road. They're stronger at home at 21-13. They are on a 2-game losing streak. However, most recently losing 2 out of 4, or splitting the series completely with the San Francisco Giants. And then the Cubs will come to town. Of course, the Cubs not as strong as they've been in some years past. They're 14-17 on the road, overall 33-30. So that is a series you would hope for the Rockies to grab. Cubs coming off losing 2 out of 3 to the A's, losing 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals, splitting the series with the Pirates, losing all 3 in a row to the Astros, losing all 3 in a row to the Brewers, and even losing 2 out of 3 to the Chicago White Sox. So it's been a tough year for Cubby fans. But the Colorado Rockies need to look to improve. As far as overall, if you look at all of MLB, they are indeed tied for the worst record yet again, tied with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or the old California Angels, at 24-39. So that kind of hurts a little bit. But you do have some good baseball here with the Riverton Raiders. Like I said again, fielding being an issue, but they do have games coming up, and we'll hope to be there. We were meant to be there on Monday. I was out sick, and Marshall had something going on, so we weren't able to get out there. But we do enjoy being able to come out there and have a good time with them. Again, fielding kind of their real big bugaboo this season. They have 44 errors through 14 games. That really has to get that has to get fixed, and it needs to get fixed now. Pretty much, you can't expect, especially with the way they're doing Legion this year. Can't really have the errors and compete against some of these AA teams. Talent and depth is, of course, going to be an issue. That's why there were probably half the people we talked to were for the transition, half the people against going to facing AA and single A and things of that nature. So, but it does look, when you look at the standings, it does kind of look like it's going to shake out like you would expect, with AA on top, and they'll do their thing, and then single A will do their thing. So that's really about all that's going on right now. We have had some NFL trades nationally. It's kind of hard to talk about when you're the only one here. So we do have some things going on as far as that goes, but really we're in the heart of baseball season. This is the time of year that baseball dominates, generally speaking. And for local, obviously, of course, on the national scale, of course, you've got the Knicks and San Antonio Spurs. Knicks up 1-0 in that one after coming back. So can the Knicks finally get a championship for New York? It's been a hot minute, especially if you factor out the Yankees. It's been a really hot minute going back to Eli and stuff. But for the Knicks, last time they were up 1-0, I want to say, in a series was back in the 70s. They put that up on TV last night. So if you're into the NBA and into basketball, of course, that going on tonight at 6:30 on ABC. And as far as the NHL goes, of course, local team getting Colorado, the closest to a local team, or Utah Mammoth, not in it anymore. It's Vegas and Carolina, which probably means that the ratings may not be so fierce, as you've got the old, I think, Hartford Whalers is where Carolina came from. And, of course, Vegas was a true expansion team and had the best record, I think, of an expansion team, I know, ever in the NHL, but in their first year, I think, had the best expansion record percentage-wise, per capita, if you will, of any team ever to be an expansion team. So that series tied up at 1 apiece after Vegas took the first one, and then Carolina took the second one in overtime, 4-3. And that, of course, was last night. They'll play again on Saturday. So we've got a lot going on here. We're going to pull up now, lastly, the upcoming Raiders schedule for you guys. Just need to log in here real quick. And we'll give you that as far as what's coming on. We are hosting, Riverton, the city, is hosting the B tournament this year, so that's exciting. We'll have the full finals of the B level guys coming in, and that is basically like your 16 and U type thing. So that'll be exciting, and Marshall is going to be bringing that to you. along with probably Andrew Garcia some. And we do have some exciting news for those on 101.7. Speaking of our broadcasters, Kevin Gerber will be returning for another year of basketball. He confirmed that the other day. We're so excited. He is one of, if not the best. So we look forward to that. And Kevin Gerber bringing you, of course, he's been able to bring you back to back state championship games. So that's been fun for him. So as we look at the Raiders B schedule upcoming here in June, they're at Green River this weekend. Oddly, so are we for the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters convention, almost a tournament. Then Monday they will be hosting Powell. Of course, we don't do all the B games; we just don't have the manpower. Then they'll be at Then they host Rollins in a conference game on Tuesday. So back-to-back home days for them, and then they have the tournament coming up. Trying to find it here. Friday through Monday. That'll be July 17th through 20th, but they have some games in between, and we'll preview those. Of course, Raiders baseball schedule is so difficult. They change so often, so we'll get into that. For the A-level squad, they will be on the road for the next for the next mini games, actually. Tuesday, they're in Gillette. The following Sunday, they're in Lander, so they'll be close to home then. Then the following weekend, they go to the Laramie tournament, then a Green River tournament to wrap up kind of towards the end of June. And then they finish off the month at Sheridan. Then they start July 3rd, 4th, 5th. The holiday weekend, they're in Douglas. The next home game for the Riverton Raiders A-level team will be on July 6th against Casper. We should have that one for you. Then they're at home against Sheridan on the 11th, Douglas on the 14th of July, go on the road to Powell, and then finish up the season on July 19th against Laramie at home, and that's on a Sunday. That'll be at 1 and 3. And then depending on how things shake out, they either be at the Division I state tournament in Gillette, potentially, or be at the Division II state in Green River, which are two different weekends. Division I will be July 24th to 28th, Friday through Tuesday. Division II will be July 30th through August 2nd in Green River. So we want to thank Porter's for sponsoring the show. If you need a Sundance spa or a nice smoker, they've got one of the things that they highlight, but they've not really said it as a sponsor of the show. If you're into smoking or grilling or barbecuing or whatever, however you want to refer to it, just don't call grilling barbecuing. You need to get over to Porter's. They've got a fine selection. I mean, absolute top-notch selection of dry rubs and seasonings and things of that nature. I know you may be saying, hey, I do it myself. I like to do it myself too, mix my own stuff, but they've got some of the top end stuff that I just can't recreate. And I'm sure it's all about ratios, salt, pepper, etc., cumin, etc. But get on over there, take a look at that. Of course, they've got a big celebration coming up. You'll hear more about that on our networks here in the next week or so, or I think it's this weekend actually. No, it's July 20th. So in a couple weeks, big celebration, always big fun time out there at Porter's. So get on out there and get on out there beforehand. It's the heart of grilling season. Go get yourself some great spices, rubs. Try something new. Let them recommend something and enjoy your time out cooking outside. So next week, hopefully I won't be alone. So hopefully we'll get some guys back in here. If not, we'll get some coaches. We do want to get with like Max Mills and Matt George and all the other ADs as well this offseason. And we are working on getting, of course, he's in the middle of the move, the new Riverton girls basketball coach to come on air with us, give us a call in and talk about what his plans are in really a fresh start, a fresh build for him and the Riverton Lady Wolverines. Of course, Riverton Lady Wolverines have been building, getting a little bit better every year under Coach Bosner, but at the same point in time, they lost 5 total seniors, 4 of which were starting at any given time. So that's a huge loss when you consider basically the only starter returning is Carson Bosica. So we've been kind of all over the board today. I apologize about that, but we want to thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week on WyoToday Sports Live here on 101.7 KDNO.